What is up, YouTube? Today we will be making a nice English muffin style sandwich with some poached eggs. Now, this is a homemade recipe that I made, so it'd be great for you to try it out. First, we're going to start with the creamy guacamole sauce. So, we're going to take a bowl and just take an avocado. So first, let's cut into this avocado. Take the tape off, put that over there. Get rid of that spoon, and then just take rid of that seed. Okay, now we can throw that seed away. I'll do that in a second. Now we're just gonna take that avocado and just scoop it inside of this. I'm just gonna use the whole avocado. And then you scoop it and place it into the bowl. So, okay, now that we've got the avocado in the bowl, we're gonna set this stuff aside. Next, we want to cut this lime. So we're just gonna be careful with that and then cut into it. And you're gonna take both of the limes and you're just gonna squeeze them into that avocado sauce. For some of that extra limey flavor, I'm gonna do both of them separately because it's a smaller bowl and I don't want to get any in my eye. Now, I love lime. I don't think it matters too much if you add it, but it's really good for that extra flavor. So once you get those limes in, it doesn't have to be perfect. Next, so now me, personally, I'm going to add some mustard. Now, this is whole grain, old style mustard. If you want to use normal mustard, that's fine. Dijon, or however you say it, that's fine. I'm going to wipe the spoon off before we scoop some in there. I would just take about a spoonful and add it in there, you know. Could do two if you want. So I'm just going to add a spoonful of that in there, which is good. And then close this back up. And then I'm going to do some mayonnaise. Do about 2 spoonfuls of mayonnaise, maybe more. Let's just 1, 2. I'll do 2.5. There. Now, what I'm going to do now is just going to take a masher and mash it up. Mash it all up, and then we're going to mix it with that spoon once it's all mashed. You just kind of want to mix and mash all at the same time. Make sure you get everything off of that scraper. And you're just going to mix until it forms that sauce you want. And it will be a little bit chunky. You can add more avocado, less mayo, depending on your preference. But you want it to be nice and creamy. This looks pretty good. So I'd say once it starts to look a little bit like this is how you would want it. If you want it to be more avocado-y, I would throw in another half or full avocado. But this looks pretty good. So there's your sauce for the side. Now you can, for your bread, you use an English muffin. Just grab one right here. I'm going to be making 2 of these. So just take your English muffins. Now you could butter up a pan and sear them on that pan. But I'm just going to throw them into the toaster for a little bit, just to make these a little bit quicker. So I'm going to throw them into the toaster and let those cook for a little bit. So now you just can mash up that sauce a little bit to your likings, but the sauce should be good. And then put your stuff to the side over here. And next, here, also for the side sauce, I forgot to add this. You just want to throw in some salt and pepper too. So, like that, that's good. And then just mix that all up. And then there's your sauce. while that bread is toasting, we're going to take some of these tomatoes. I'm using cherry tomatoes, and with the cherry tomatoes, what I'm going to do here is move this stuff. Just going to get a small pan, really small pan, and I'm going to I'm going to cut these cherry tomatoes in half, each of them in half, if I can get this open. I'm stupid. So I'm just going to take them out of here. So once you get all those cut, you can turn up to about medium heat on your thing into a small pan and throw down some like olive oil, and then just gonna do just a little bit here. I'll show you this here in a second. So here's our pan with the olive oil, and we're gonna get that on medium heat for a second. So just get that olive oil kind of moved around a whole bunch, and then place them all face down like this onto your pan. And you're just going to cook them up a little bit. Okay. Okay. So we're going to move this over here now. Yep. Now I've got our tomatoes on. We're going to take some pepper, some salt. And you just want to season those tomatoes as they cook. They're going to be cooking for a little bit. You don't want to cook them too long. Just make sure you get them moved around in this oil. So I'm just going to get myself a slotted turner real quick. This works too. So then we're just going to kind of move them around, let them get all that seasoning that I seasoned them onto. Let them get some oil and stuff, and just let them kind of sear up and cook in here. You can also do this in the oven if you have a better way to, sear them up. Me, like I said, I'm just trying to get this done quickly. And because you can make this like a quick, easy meal, and it'll taste really good. So you're gonna just get these tomatoes going around, and you also want to get, which I'm gonna do here now while those start to heat up. You want to take just like a large pot. You're gonna fill it up about maybe halfway to 3/4 with water, or 2/3. And then for this, I'm only going to use 2 eggs, These are starting to cook up in a little bit, so you want to flip these just a little bit and push down on them too. Here's your English muffins. You can set these aside on your plate. Now, these tomatoes will be done here any second now. Once we finish these tomatoes, we are going to move it on to the heat over here, and we're going to bring that water to a boil. And now these look pretty good. You want them to get some of that flavor and stuff. So now that these are done, I'm going to go set them to the side so they can gain up some flavor too. I'll just put them right here. Now, right here, we're going to bring our pot of water, and we're going to put this to about medium-high heat if you have a 2-ringed oven. If it's an electric oven, medium-high heat on the double rings. Bring this water to a boil. And so now that our tomatoes are done, we can start to plate up our sandwich. Over here, we've got our tomatoes. We're going to take those out here in a second, but we want to get our second English muffin in the toaster. Get it nice and crisped. Okay, now that that second one's in the toaster, this is enough tomatoes for both of the sandwiches. That water's coming to a boil. I've just got some iceberg lettuce from a bag, but you can make it yourself if you want fresh. But like I said, I'm just going for it quickly, and out of all the ingredients, you can make maybe like a good like 6 to 10 of these out of everything if you get the right ingredients. So yeah, we've got that, and we're gonna be making poached eggs with this. So we're gonna let this cook up. Let the water boil, and once it's getting close to a boil, we're gonna take those other English muffins out. But I'm gonna start getting the ingredients ready. So get those ready. And I'm using some mozzarella cheese as my cheese of choice. So I'm gonna open up that mozzarella cheese. Get that stuff ready. So right off the bat, I'm gonna start getting, you just wanna take I'm gonna take just a butter knife, and I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, I'm gonna take your English muffin and just get your dip, your sauce, and I'm gonna take some of it, and you're just gonna start to spread it on the, you can also blend this if you don't want it to be chunky at all. Just get that sauce spread on to there. I'm just gonna use the butter knife. You can also use oops, that's okay. You can also just use a spoon that you use to mix and just plop some on there and then butter knife it. It's an English muffin, so this sauce will be getting in all those holes and stuff. So there, now that you got that sauced, you're good there. You're gonna want to get the other one too. So now we got this sauce. I'm gonna get some of our tomatoes too, but this is, so what you want is smoked ham and turkey is what I'm using. So we're just gonna take some of this. So here's our ham, just throw it on there. And then we're gonna get our turkey right here. Just get a slice or two of turkey and then set that there. Now we're gonna take some mozzarella. Get some of that mozzarella over the top. You don't want too much, but just enough that it will cover the top. And then we're gonna take some of our lettuce. Not too much, just a good amount. Like I said, over the top. Okay, and then last but not least, we'll take some of our tomatoes. Just gonna grab them. Just put those tomatoes in there. Should only need about like 4 or 5 per sandwich. These will add a good amount of flavor. They're nice and soft. I'm gonna put, this is 6, so I'm gonna do 7 per sandwich. Now, we're gonna close the sandwich up. Give it a nice little press. Now, you could eat it cold, but I want this cheese to melt. So what I'm gonna do now is put the rest of these tomatoes on the side here. And get this sandwich, and I'm just gonna turn up the heat to about medium. Let that heat up. Keep the sandwich over here for now. And while that heats up, You can start on the second sandwich if you had already started on getting your toast ready, which I have. Okay, now that we got this pan heated back up, we're just gonna throw on this burger sandwich. And let it sizzle just a little bit. Turn up the heat a little bit is what I'm doing. Just giving it a nice extra toast. And you want that cheese to melt. And now about here is where I'm gonna take it off, because it should be nice and melted and ready. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the other one. Here are your sandwiches. Set those over here to cool down a little bit. Turn off your heat. Take the pan off. Now we got our heat off. Now our water is actually starting to come to a boil. So what we're gonna do, you're supposed to add about a teaspoon of vinegar. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it a little bit. Take your vinegar and that's about a teaspoon. Okay, now we're gonna take a slotted spoon and get our eggs out. You only need 2 eggs, like I said, so set one to the side. You're gonna grab a bowl and a strainer. Set the strainer in the bowl, and what we're gonna do here is into this bowl and the strainer, we want to crack the egg. Into the strainer. Make sure you keep that yolk together. You don't want to break that yolk. You want to actually get rid of that egg white. Yeah, not egg white, but the thin egg white. You get rid of that thin egg white stuff, which you want to get rid of pretty quickly. Okay. Once you get rid of most of that, you can take the bowl over here. It's still going to strain just a little bit, which is why you want to bring the bowl with the strainer. So what we're going to do, well actually we're going to let this sit and strain a little bit longer. We don't want this to tip over though, so make sure you set something next to it if it's too big for the bowl. Now into the water, we actually want to reduce the heat. I'm going to reduce it to low. And I'm going to take a slotted spoon and I'm going to stir the water into a vortex. Okay, now that's a vortex. We're going to set the spoon aside. We're going to get our egg. We're just going to slowly pour it into that vortex right in the middle. And then it'll sit in the middle there. And you're going to cook this up for 3 minutes. You want that egg in there for 3 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer. And we'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay, our timer is up, so we're going to turn that off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just grab that poached egg with our spoon. Be gentle. Loosen it up just a little bit, which is what I did. Okay, let it drain out. Now you're just going to place it onto a plate. And what you're going to do now is you're going to take a paper towel. You're just going to dap it lightly Gently dap it for any excess waters, okay? So you just want to dap it for any excess water. And then I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. Got some salt on there. And we're going to get some pepper on there too. There it is. There. And now you're going to do the same thing for the other one. And plate it up. Time to let my dad try it.